A new day, a story about starting new. My D-Day was January 24th of this year, 7 days after returning from an awesome vacation of 15 days with her. We have been married 6 years, together 7 years. She wasn't getting any sleep due to working nights and having to shift back to nights from our vacation. She just hit me with a story that I was a scary man. And she didn't know me anymore. It's a long drawn-out story. I'm sure I'm to blame for some of it. But in the weeks to follow I found out things about her I never knew. Bad things. That she had been physically abused as a child by her father. Never said a word to me in 7 years. We never ever had a fight or argument. We would disagree, but never anything harsh or mean. I trusted her with my life. We always said we would be together forever. We don't have any children. She has 2 grown kids from her last marriage of 24 years. She had asked her previous husband to change for 3 years. One day she said that and moved out. I was part of that reason, I'm sure. Now the same thing has happened to me. See a pattern? I didn't, but I do now. She says there's no one else. But too many things don't add up. Went away for a break for 5 days. Couldn't show me a hotel receipt. Didn't tell me where. I traced credit card and found out she checked in and right out within 20 minutes. Anyway, I have done everything wrong. Begged to change, pleaded, cried, hurt, texted her. I've lost 22 pounds because I can't eat. I'm a wreck. Now I'm trying the 180. I don't trust her anymore. We're fighting over money and the separation agreement. Everything is my fault. Until last week, I said, look, I want this done and over. I want to go on with my life. I have some plans. Let's get this settled. She looked stunned. 3 days later we met for lunch because we had to do taxes together. And she says to me, you know, we only have to be back together for 90 days under the same roof in order for this separation agreement to be null and void. Huh, where did they come from? I said that not what you want, right? You want this over. She just put her head down and said, yes, that's what I want. I'm lost. I've been to counseling 6 times. She went once and said it was only to appease me. Was this tiny bit of a 180 or me being tough and showing her? I'm going to go on and not live in self-pity. Enough to make her question what she wants, or our marriage. I love her to death, but I don't trust her anymore. She has said some seriously hurtful, horrible things to me. I want my old life with her back, but that's not going to happen. Is it? Now is a Friday. She says she's seeing a counselor to help her with trust issues. She said she might consider seeing a counselor together. Maybe. I'm so screwed up, I don't even know what I want anymore. I know I can't live with this hurt anymore. But I also feel sick at my stomach when I'm around her. Like I'm walking on eggshells. I love her so much, but she's got problems. She dumped last hubby same way. But gave him time to change. She won't give me any time to fix things. She says I will just become my old self. Funny thing is, this has changed my life forever. I'm not the same man. I'm now broken and weak. I feel I've lost my soulmate. My best friend. I want her back, but at the same time, I almost feel it's way too soon. I'm going to continue with the 180, not to be rude or mean, but to try and help myself. I don't think it will work to win her back. I'm not even sure what I'm asking. Maybe some support and to tell someone how crushed and devastated I feel. I know this doesn't all sound right, and I'm all over the map writing this. But I have this site and 2 really good friends that are helping me. Not judging me. I'm pretty sure there's someone else. Might even be a female. She has just become very close to another woman friend, and found some very hurtful things on her phone this women were telling her to do, how to get rid of me, etc. I actually just caught her in another lie about 15 minutes ago. We're not under same roof right now. But I was just at the house to pick up a few things. I left and she texted me about 15 minutes later saying, I'm up now, you can come over to get some items. A friend and myself actually seen her driving around in town 20 minutes before that text. So, she's staying with someone. Looks like I need to try to heal and move on and forget that this could ever work out again. Another good point I forgot to make was 2 months before this all happened. She just up and changes her first name. Yes, she actually legally changed her first name, as if starting her life over, rather than fixing the issues she has. I hate living and feeling like this. It's unbearable. She has zero remorse when she talks to me, as if I'm all healed up and moved on. I guess that's because she is, so she feels I must be too. All the banking was changed within a few days of D-Day. Something just told me to do that. She's not running any bills up, other than on her personal CC cards. She has a good job and pays them on time. She is now switching gears and telling me that she's mostly hurt and betrayed that I won't just leave her with all the assets. She says her first husband was better to her financially than I'm being. I got pissed for the first time and told her I had put 7 years of working 5 to 6 days a week, helping build a home life and a business. And maybe since this seems to be a pattern, her next ex will leave her with more than I'm doing. She cried and explained how all of this is my fault, and if I just gave her more money, maybe we would be able to be together again in the future. Wow, the lights are all coming on for me now. She has become someone I never even seen once in our life together. She has tried to have me arrested. She has managed to call and switch my cell phone into her name and then have the line suspended, which was my business line. She even tried to drain money out of my business, but didn't get that one done. I spent 3 hours in a taped interview room with the police. They did not arrest me. She told them things that have not happened, and when they questioned her, she could not remember times or places. She has even gone as far as to pull the tags off my vehicle and shredded all my customer contacts that I have. Thank God I had things backed up on a stick. She has become very, very vicious. I seen her this afternoon, only to try and pick up some things, and she was very cold and confrontational. I asked her to just give it up and tell me the truth for once. She said there is no one else, but that she's deathly afraid of me and has hired a personal bodyguard. Wow, I guess he was on lunch break for the 2 hours I was there. Never seen him. I'm going to have as minimum contact as possible. Try to focus on the 180 for me. Not to ever make this work again. I love her so much, but I can't forgive the things she has done to me and has said, let alone, how would I feel down the road if we did try to make it work? I'd question everything. I just can't live like that. I had what I thought was a wonderful wife. And now I'm alone. She told me no other women will ever want you, you're a worthless user. And all I ever wanted was her money. She even told me it has cost her money to be in her life, that I never once bought anything or contributed to our household financially. Funny, I have over 3 years of check stubs just from my business going into the house bank account. I asked her if I was abusive to her today. She said no. I asked if I was a bad or neglectful husband. She said no. I asked her if there was another man, woman, or even beast. She said no, but she did say she doesn't trust me, and that she feels I never loved her since day one. I did not cheat on her. I did not fool around or talk about any other women. She has seriously just melted down and seems positive all her feelings are because of me. I give up. I can't fix her. She doesn't think she's broken. I've lost my wife and best friend. I'm beyond words. I feel stunned and exhausted. I can't eat, sleep, or function properly. Please someone, kick my ass in gear. Help me please. I need to get my head around this and start to heal, just so I can work. I actually get a sick feeling in my stomach when I see her text or know I have to call for something, such as more of her lawyer's letters and bull crap. I'm drained emotionally. I'm sorry for the spelling. I'm so tired and yet I can't sleep. I wake up sweating, scared and not even sure where I am, and then I lay here for 3 to 4 hours thinking. I see a counselor tomorrow, but I'm going to try to seek help on recovering from this, with the full intent that I will never be with her again. I had no idea she was damaged when I met her. She kept that very well hidden. She even told me yesterday that she is never speaking to her own mother again after this, because her mother rushed her off the phone when she told her we were splitting up. Wow, it's all just so hard to go from what seemed like an awesome life with a woman I loved so very deeply, to this bottom of the world feeling. I'm trying my best to not let her ruin me for life or pull me down deeper than I am at this point. Well, I guess I didn't bring up all the good qualities in her because I didn't see that as a problem. Yes, you're right, looking back there have been some flags that I missed, but only small ones. The changing of her name should have really stood out, but I went with what she said. She just didn't like it, and never has. When we met, she had been married for 24 years and begged her husband to go to get some counseling for 3 years. He wouldn't, so when I came along, she decided to leave. She said she would have left regardless, but I think I was just a reason to make it more justifiable in her mind. Ironically, now she says she's texting her ex after 7 years. And he's encouraging her, I guess, to move on or maybe to go back to him. She says she won't ever go back to him, but she also said we would be together until the day we died. Trust me, I don't think I will ever be with other women again. I don't mean I'm switching teams, I just can't ever see other women in my life. I'm starting to feel maybe she's right, no other women will want to be with me. I guess if you're told you're she percent long enough, you start to believe it. I really don't have much to offer. I'm pretty screwed up now. I'm sure I've got serious trust issues. I'm 39, my wife is 52. I guess this is my 3rd serious relationship. First marriage for me. I expected it to be my only one. I've never been depressed or on drugs or anything negative. This is the most horrible thing I have ever had to experience. I'm at work sitting at my desk in tears. I can't stop wanting to repair this. But I also know I can't fix her. She needs to do that on her own, if it's even possible, or with professional help. But how long might that take? She keeps telling me, if I just gave in and gave her more money, it would be a lot easier for her to try for a future for US. I know that's bull, but it's playing on me. I went to my first meeting with a new counselor today. She listened and only said a few things. The things she said to me felt like I was getting shot at point-blank range. Maybe it was because she was not holding anything back, and maybe it's because it's pretty much the same things that almost everyone has been telling me. She actually stopped me at one point and told me these exact words. "Your wife is crazy. I'm worried about your safety. Get out of the house. Cut off all contact with her. Unless it's a must, due to separation and lawyers. Don't text her or call her. And she wants me to get to a doctor to get something to help me sleep, and to take away this roller coaster of emotions." I asked her if this marriage could be fixed, and she said, "Not until your wife addresses her major issues." And at this time she doesn't even think any of this was or is her fault. So no, she told me to run. She said she will help me for a year, due to insurance, and she can fix me. But that even if we did get back together, it will never be the same. And I will also have trust issues with her. I'm trying people, but I had something so wonderful. I just can't see past this. I'm crushed again tonight, torn on trying to text her or call her, just to hear her voice. I have another session next Tuesday, but I could use some more support until then. I know the next 30 days will be a pain, but I'm going to make a plan to be able to get through a day without crying and wanting to do anything to get her back and try to accomplish it in the next 30 days. Sooner would be a blessing. I just don't know where to get the strength from. Today, so far, has been my best day yet. I had zero communication with her and have done a lot of reading. I'm doing my best to have no contact, and if I do have to talk to her, it will be strictly about picking up something from the house, which I will do when she's not there, or to do with separation agreement. We're trying our best to do the dividing of items on our own. Lawyers will have a heyday if we fight. Anyway, I feel pretty decent today, but I've been super busy with work and reading advices online. I have a few important assets and items I have had to protect through the law. The moment that the separation agreement is signed, there will be no need to contact her for anything. And if there is, I can get a friend to do. She's not going to get any more money out of me, folks, if she wants more. I'm done, and we can just let the court sort it out. It's in her best interest to not go that route. She's getting more this way. But I don't think she sees that. I actually feel a bit relieved today, like I might actually be able to put her in my rear view mirror one day, hopefully very soon. I started reading some self-help books. I realize I do seem to be codependent. I'm trying to break both of those issues. I can say I'm not going back to her or with her, regardless of what she says or help she gets. There's been too much damage done, and I will not live wondering when the next crap storm is coming. I don't like the feeling of it being over, but I've seen the light and there's no going back. I just want this separation agreement signed, and I can start to move forward. I see no future of ever being with other women or trusting one, but I do see a future without her in my life. It feels like crap, but so does the way this has all turned out. Next day, really super bad day today. Told her I needed an ownership signed or title for the Americans. She said no problem, come by, I'll sign it and we can go together Friday morning to DMV to have it gifted into your name. I showed up a little early to find another man sitting in my living room with her. Seems he works with her, and they were carpooling to work this evening. In the past, locals have always carpooled together, but never have I seen this guy before. I let it go. It doesn't matter who she's doing, I'm done. What did really piss me off was a note I found in her handwriting, changing a bunch of the things we had agreed to, and looks like it was a copy she made to send to her lawyer. Well, I guess I have hit the end of my Mr. Nice Guy. Now we can shove that agreement in her. Now, I go to the courthouse and file paperwork for what we call up here as an equalization payment, meaning pretty much one spouse owes the other more money, and you need to come up with it in whatever manner necessary. Now we can sell the house she was going to stay in and all the assets and split it right down the center, along with the fact I'm going after support payments, her pension, any single thing that I'm entitled to. And in the end, when the lawyers have it all money, I won't be in any different position than I am now. But she will be. Now she's texting me, asking, "Are you okay?" What a piece of crap. Wow, I can see this one is going to drag on for a very long time and get very expensive. I'm beyond angry tonight. This is the first time I have been angry, but I will control it and not allow it to control me. Because after thinking about it, she's actually causing the anger. And in a sense, she's the one that's controlling me again. I used to be a fairly intelligent man, but I feel I have lost sight of my inner strength and knowledge at this point. I'm not giving any more assets or money. We all have a breaking point. Yesterday was mine. I don't care what it costs in the long run. She's not going to have everything while I leave with my hat in my hand. Update. Things have been pretty hard for me. There seems to be some damn reason that we have to talk every few days. I did get into a doctor and got a prescription for this roller coaster of emotions I seem to be riding. That was a few weeks ago, and it has helped me a lot. I've only had about 4 really hard days in the last 3 weeks. Yes, it still hurts, but I'm starting to see this as an outsider looking in. She signed the separation agreement. Now I have to sign and move my items. The second my things are out, I'm going dark. I went for 7 days with zero contact and I started to feel good. No sick stomach. I actually felt like I had some self-worth again. Then she texts me about the lawyer and then calls and the battering and running me down starts again. It's all my fault. I miss her when I look at her, but when she speaks, I'm so glad this is done. I could never live like this. I do need to heal, and I'm trying. I'm having a super hard time imagining there is anyone out there for me again. Not sure why that feeling is so strong, but it is. I doubt everything anymore, and probably wouldn't be much good to any women. I feel like I need to go right back to the beginning of me and try to figure out what really makes me happy. I know I have become a codependent man and that's not a good thing. She, on the other hand, can hardly remember my name. Story 2. I asked her what the pic was and she insisted it was for me, but she forgot to send it. Of course, I was suspicious. There wasn't much I could prove, so I kept it in the back of my mind and just started keeping an eye open. I noticed she was being very sneaky with her phone, turning screen away from me, leaving it on silent when it never was before. We started arguing about it every day for 3 or 4 days. She was accusing me of not trusting her and insisted nothing was happening, still refusing to unlock her phone. I figured out her code and snuck onto her phone frequently but could never find anything, so I started thinking I was being crazy and felt terrible. Still, though something wasn't right, I mentioned how I heard a coworker's husband put an app on her phone that retrieved all deleted texts, and her face dropped. Later that night she admitted that I wasn't crazy, that there was a guy from work and she had feelings for him. I was really hurt, but honestly, I was also kind of relieved that I wasn't crazy. She said she knew it was wrong and promised right away to stop texting him. She texted in front of me to him saying she loved her husband and couldn't talk to him anymore. He responded quickly with "Okay, back to reality. I wish you luck." She promised to keep me updated with what happened at work and if he continued to text. I took that as a sign we needed to seriously fix our marriage once and for all, and she agreed. She changed a lot over the next week. She was affectionate, sweet, loving. I was over the top sweet and did all I could for her. I wrote her a letter nearly every day. I did her favors. I surprised her with gifts. One night I cut out 30 hearts from paper and wrote a thing I love about her on each and hid them all over the house for her to find. We had a setback one day though when I offered to come see her on lunch and her clearly didn't want me to. I went from a time issue, to a relaxing instead issue, to a not wanting to leave work on lunch issue, to a I need time alone to miss you issue. I was hurt by that and started thinking something was wrong. Soon after I found out she was still talking to him. I can't even remember right now how I found out, but it involved asking her a billion questions, getting lied to a billion times, and then texting and calling him and getting a different version which was also full of lies. What it boiled down to is that they met outside of work twice and made out in his car. She swears up and down that she didn't sleep with him. I tend to believe her on that, though it was difficult. What was really difficult was learning that the second makes-out session was the night after I hid her all the hearts. I had called her when she was getting out of work and told her I had the kids in the bath so we could have a moment alone when she got home. She told me she had to stay late. I ended up having to get the kids out and ready for bed long before she got home. She wasn't staying late though. She was making out with him in his car. So now my issue is this. How do I move past this? She is now apologetic and full of regret. She promises, again, she won't talk to him or text him. She says it was wrong and she was stupid. She is again being loving and caring and affectionate. She is really trying, but part of me is worried she is reacting to the guilt of being caught. Will this last? How do I stop asking questions about every detail? She was on her days off the last 2 days and this morning she goes back to work with him. She has offered to look for a new job, but until then they will be working side by side. How do I not go crazy? I believe that she wants to avoid him now and work on us. I really do, but I also believe that he won't give up that easily. I ended up reading their texts between each other and I can clearly see he is the one who suggested everything along the way and she went along with it. How do I know that won't continue? To be completely honest, I'm scared. Feeling like I was going to lose her when she first told me about him really opened my eyes. I admit we have taken each other for granted for far too long. When I look at her now, I am so amazed by her beauty and how much I really love her. That's what scares me. With her affection issues, I don't want to go over the top again. So far, she has been matching my affection the last few days, but I am afraid it won't last. She says she is sorry almost hourly and says she wants to grow old with me. One last issue is that I tried to get info out of her about his girlfriend so I could inform her of what happened and she wouldn't tell me. She says it's because she just wants to move on, but to me, she is protecting him. I found her on Facebook myself and am waiting for her to message me back. I really am in love with my wife and I need to figure out a way to fix this marriage. I did already install SMS tracking application on her phone. She hasn't called or texted, nor has he, since I confronted them. I didn't think he would on the weekend anyway. We will see what happens starting today when she goes back to work. She did agree to find a new job but was at first unwilling to transfer to another location. even though some are closer to the house. I thought that was strange, but she says it's because he friends there, though now has agreed to quit once new job is found. As far as bonding, I read all their texts. There is mention of kissing, but nothing physical, and during the time they were talking, she was on her time of the month, so I'm pretty confident she didn't sleep with him. I have started working out and just went and got a haircut and bought a few new clothes, so I have taken your advice on that end. I think we need to be able to show we love each other and be on the same page instead of me trying to be distant and acting like I am able to move on. I did retrieve their texts and am actively checking it. I can see who she texts, emails, where she is located, etc., and they have only been calling, texting for about 2 weeks now total. I checked back to when she first started the job there. Trickle of truth though. First it was just talking, then it was 1 kiss, then it was 2 kisses. Then it was 2 makeout sessions but no touching. Then it was him trying to touch her and her stopping him, but I don't think they had slept together due to her being on her time of month the 2 times they met, per texts, comments. Unfortunately, what you are getting now is trickle truth. She is not truly remorseful because she only acts sorry when caught. She only came clean when you told her about the text retrieval. First, she admits feelings, then she admits meeting but nothing physical. If you keep digging you will probably find that she is indeed having a PA with him. Sorry you are here, but you'll find this board full of the same trickle truth scenarios, and they pretty much all end in the BS finding out that their WS was having a physical affair. I would continue investigating as much as possible. I feel for you and your predicament, I really do, but unless you get tough and stop being afraid of what will happen if you take the necessary actions, this guy is going to continue to sleep with your wife, making out in his car my ass, and she'll continue to serve you cream pies at home. Yes, I'm being harsh, but you need to hear it this way. Frankly, I would throw her out now. She's not cooperating with you and has no intention of giving up her lover. But whatever, are you a stay-at-home dad? Edit. You need to get vicious about this. You didn't respond about the exposure. Have you exposed this to their HR department, to family, to friends? If she continues to protect him, you have to go after him more. Tell her she must give you the info on his GF or you will leave her and the kids, as hard as this is. You have to, because that will put her in a bind. You are being way too passive. OP responds, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, but if she quits now, which she said she would do if I wanted, we won't be able to afford our rent and will be on the street. I really wish she never had to go back. When she goes to work this morning, I will be in complete hell. I didn't go to lunch with her that day because we have 1 vehicle right now. I considered taking a cab there with the kids, but I didn't. I'm kicking myself for it now. I work nights, and before you assume that he's in my house while I'm away at work, let me assure you I'm confident he isn't. I realize that in most cases these signs point to them having had slept together, but I'm confident they've only been talking for 2 weeks and I was able to catch it before it progressed to that. I can tell from recovered texts when they started texting, when they met, for how long, and general idea of what happened. Plus, like I said, the 2 nights they met briefly, she was on her time of the month and it's unlikely she would be with someone new during that. I do realize that it was headed in that direction though. As for exposure, I did talk to her about it again this morning. She has obvious reasons not to want it exposed. Whether it be protecting him, keeping relationship alive, or just being ashamed. But either way I know I am going to tell his girlfriend. I managed to find her on Facebook on my own and am waiting for her to write back. I did threaten to contact HR at her job, but I secretly was worried about her not being able to transfer out of being investigated, and can't afford for her just to quit. I have talked about going to get D papers. I will look further into it and let her know. That sounds like good advice, even if it is just in case she can't stop talking to him. I agree that she has to start hating him. I think me telling his girlfriend and him at least assuming she is the one who gave me the info on her is a step in that direction. Or perhaps it will make him dislike her. I would love to tell her she quits today, but we seriously won't be able to pay rent at the end of the month if she does, and will be homeless with no family anywhere near us. I really wish there were an option. Maybe I'm being naive, but I believe that she is sorry and wishes she could take it back. I also know that she gave me the same benefit of the doubt when the roles were reversed. At the same time, I realize she can't keep working with the guy. Based on his texts, I can assume he won't give up that easily. He was the initiator in each incident. I have located his GF on Facebook. I'm waiting for her to reply to my message asking her to contact me. If she doesn't, I will still send message detailing what they did. I didn't end it right away. Well, I did, but she recontacted me a year later. So, I know there's a good chance he will try again. I do realize she was putting out those signals. I'm not only blaming him. Why did she do it more than once? I'll tell you how she explained it. First time she felt bad but liked it, and I saw text to him the day after telling him thinking about their kissing gave her shivers, which was a huge blow to me, as you can imagine. Didn't seem like she regretted it much first time, but that was before we decided to work on each other. She texted him that they had to stop and there were no calls or texts for about a week when he texted her while they were both at work asking her to come to his desk before she left. I confirmed all this when reading their texts. She did, which I hate, go to his desk and he asked her to meet him to talk in parking lot after work. Once there he asked her into his car and it happened again. She said she kept thinking it was wrong and wanted to say no. She was only with him about 15 minutes based on goodbye text and when she called me. Having said all that, I do think it's very possible it would still be happening if not caught by me. I just called her and explained again that I can't have her working with him. She said she understood and would put in for transfer today but didn't know if anything was open or not. I explained that we can't wait a month for this to happen because most likely he will see her and want to start up relationship again, just as my ex did and I wasn't working with her. She agreed that it was a possibility, assured me she wouldn't act on it if he did, and said she will just quit today if I want. But I can't have her quit today for reasons I already explained. I have all their texts, and it wasn't her that warned him I would expose it to his GF. It was me. I told him myself. I guess I needed some ammo at the time. I'm sure his GF will believe me, and if she doesn't I have the text to forward on. As for HR, if she is transferring it might be a bad idea. If there are no openings then I will have to do it and hopefully they force a transfer for one of them. As for mistake number 3, I explained that it hasn't happened yet because I want to be there for conversation. As for mistake number 4, I am not taking it at face value. She's not at work yet today. If she says there are no openings then I told her I will call HR and report it as to force a transfer. She's also applying elsewhere today which I will also verify. I don't think she has a burner phone. I've been with her 24/7 the last 2 days since they talked last and nothing has come through on her phone. I suppose it's possible he suggests that when she gets to work today, but I just found he deleted his Facebook, probably to avoid me from finding his girlfriend and telling her. Little does he know that when I first found out about this I went through his FB and took screenshots of all the females that were his GF. Found him in a photo on one profile who is also has friends with his last name with matching description, so I'm sure I have right person now. I believe they didn't sleep together. First of all, their 2 meetings were about an hour combined. I know this based on when she told him she left work, when she called me, when she arrived home, them texting goodbye, etc. And the 2 times they met, I know for a fact she was on her time of the month. Are there any women here who will confirm that she wouldn't sleep with a new guy for the first time during that time? I see that as very unlikely. I do think it would have happened eventually. Update, I went straight home and told my wife, who was supposed to be going to work in an hour, that I couldn't let her work with him anymore. I demanded she call and take her personal time off so we have a few days to figure out where she will work next. She did it and they said okay. Tomorrow I'm calling HR and telling them she needs an immediate transfer. After telling my wife that she can't go back there, she called and got the week off. I stuck by insisting that she calls HR and tell them you need a transfer, and she finally did tonight and I was there to support her while she did. They told her they would transfer either her or him by Monday to a different location. I have continued to monitor her phone and she hasn't contacted him but did contact another coworker and told her what happened and how terrible she feels and how much she hurt me. She is obviously really sorry about it and we both want to move forward. Update, wife was moved to another location. She starts again on Monday. His GF is posting random stuff on Facebook so I know she got my message but never responded. When wife called work to get the week off, he answered phone and was asking her how she is doing. She just said I just don't want to be there anymore. I can tell from that he wouldn't stop talking to her if she stayed there. No other contact between him and wife since, and things are good at home with obvious speed bumps with weird triggers. So, I don't expect anyone to necessarily believe this, because I'm not sure I even believe it myself. But she says she took dirty pic, her hand is actually covering them, after texting him, but didn't show it to him. I know she didn't send it, but that she decided it was too much and showed him a different pic in person. A pic which she showed me and was also a cute pic but in exercise clothes. I guess I'll never know if she showed him that pic or not, and I am really tired of asking for the truth on it. She swears she showed him this other pic. It makes me sick, but I know it was him making her feel wanted and her being weak and stupid. She did tell me he tried to do more and she stopped him, and being a guy, I believe that. Like I've said before though, I also believe she eventually would have had they continued to meet. I think we've addressed that issue. Not to say it's fixed, but at least from my end I'll never hold back compliments or my love in general ever again. It's stupid. I am partially to blame for why she sought out compliments and attention elsewhere. She has been very good about it too since the incident. My comment, I really like OP number 1, because he is starting to reflect on himself. It takes time to work on yourself, but reflection is the first step. What do you think about these two? Comment down and I will see you in the afternoon video.